Hello, hello, everybody. As you're popping on, say hello. Hello, Renee. Mary, hello. Whew, I feel like I haven't done this in forever, but it's only been a month. How's everybody doing? Hey, Janice. Did you survive the rainstorms without having to use your canoe? Oh, we're a little early, so I'm going to wait a minute or two before I start. But we're going to talk about wow embossing powders, and I'm going to share with you some techniques that I learned while we were in Las Vegas. And this is what I made. Well, I just made it today, but I'm going to show you some techniques to make this little canvas. It is a canvas, so I started with this. That's what we are going to do. Hello, Marianne and Lois. All right, about a minute. Give people a chance to pop on. These are all the wow things that we used in the class that I took while we were in Las Vegas. And we do have a little canvas. I'm not sure if it's on display yet, but it will be on display if it's not, over by the new embossing powders when they get checked in and put out. I did see that we did get the order from them, so although that was probably buried under about 13 other boxes, we've been getting lots and lots of things in. All right. Hey, Marilyn. So let's talk about embossing powder. Besides the distress glazes that I absolutely love, wow, it makes an amazing embossing powder, and we do have it in the store. But they've got some new things, and a couple of the new things aren't actually meltable things. So these, I'm trying to see what they're actually calling them. I think she just called them flakes, but the Harlequin is what the color is called, and it's actually a lovely teal, which looks a lot like broken china, and a lovely green, which looks a lot like twisted citron. So that's one of the things, not meltable. And then this is glass glitter. All right, so this is glass glitter, and that is what I used. This is the glitter that I used for the center of the flower, and you can see some of those flakes in the flower. But I am going to show you how to get that look. And then also this canvas too, you can see I did some color behind it, and then that's got embossing powder all around it, and this gold is embossing powder that creates the frame. All right. Yeah, Renee said she hasn't checked it in yet. I'm telling you, the boxes that are coming in are lots and lots. So I would expect it maybe by the end of the week. All right, so this is what I started with, this little tiny canvas. You could use a piece of chipboard, you could use a piece of cardstock, you can do this on paper. I just wanted to, or what we did in class was just a little home decor kind of thing, okay? So what I started with was by putting a little bit of color behind so that my canvas wasn't stark white, sorry. And I'm just gonna take one of my brushes that already have color on it and use a little bit of yellow that's already on here as my background behind my flower. So you can spray, you can ink, you can do anything that makes you happy. Now, we have these refills, and they stopped making the one with the roller ball. She was telling me that it just was causing a lot of problems. You weren't getting a lot of the ink out. So now this is the re-inker, but it can be used for so many other things. So I am going to use that in a second. But first, we are going to use clear gloss ultra high just to put a layer of embossing powder over the ink. All right. And you guys know, I've probably said this before, I really like their embossing ink pad. It's really slow drying and it works really good. We've had these in the store for a while. They were new a couple of years ago. And I am just going to smash some ink on there. Oops, I usually open my embossing powder before. I'm smashing my ink on this surface, and then I put it on a piece of paper because I want to catch all the excess that comes off after you do this. So give it a good layer. Close your ink pad, Michelle. And then I just like to give it a tap. And then dump off the excess. So what you have is this on your canvas. Now, I'm using my heat tool, and I like to start heating it up a little bit from the bottom so it starts to melt a little bit. Now, it might not go through very well on this canvas because it's thick, so we'll see how far I get. But I'm trying to do it so you can see. So you can see the magic happen, and I don't burn my fingers. But you always want to keep your heat tool moving. Can you see it starting to melt? All right, one moment please while I turn this around. And look at that, I got a pretty even coat, so I am not going to do another layer. All right, so what I am going to do is take all this excess on my paper and put it back into the jar. All right, now this technique to do the frame is super easy, and this is the it's called Vegas Gold, appropriate, right? And it is gold, not ultra fine, but fine. And this part, I'll make sure I let that cool off enough. I might not have. Let's see. Let's wave it around a little. All right. So what you do is just take the edge and wipe all along the edge, kind of tilted because you want to get a little bit on the top. All right, if I could finish my sentences, it would probably be helpful for you. So that is what you're going to get on your edge. And since your canvas is already warm, this is going to heat up pretty fast. All right, so there's the first. I like to heat it up in between just because it's not as messy. But you could powder it all the way around and then heat it up. But can you see how it doesn't like make an extra layer? It kind of melts into the clear. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, that's not helping, is it? There we go. Can you kind of see how that's melting in like that? All right, next. Well, hello, Barbara. I didn't see you sneak on. And there it is. Look how fast we have this little canvas that you could do just about anything with. Right? You could make it any color in the background. You could stencil in the background. You could spray. You could draw. You could do all sorts of things. You could use it for your card front. Put a little panel in on a layout. All sorts of things. Okay. So I just did a little flower on this one because I found, I've been talking about my Tim Holtz movers and shapers, so I was kind of looking at them. So I cut these two little flowers out. I just happened to have some of the thicker Nana cardstock laying around, so I cut a few pieces. So this is what we are going to do to get these flakes on our flowers. The first thing we're going to do is take this opaque bright white ultra high, which means it's ultra high gloss and it's very bright white. All right, so we are going to use that and we are going to have our flakes at the ready. I got this little spoon from the people at WOW in my class. I'm going to try to find these because they are very, very convenient for scooping in to the embossing powder instead of trying to stick your fingers in there, which I'm always doing. Okay, so what I am going to do is just coat my flower with embossing ink and sprinkle this white powder. And I'm going to do both because I just did a double layer to give it a little bit of texture. I used pop dots in between. All right, so we might as well do them both at the same time. A little bit of assembly line work, right? Okay. Now, these bits are smaller, so I did pull out a pair of tweezers, and now on this one, before I spill this, I'm going to heat it from below. So it starts melting, so it won't fly away, and then I will finish on top. All right, and while it's still wet, I am going to sprinkle some of the flakes in. All right, and we're just gonna let that, whoops. Oh man, I am really the clumsiest, I swear. We're going to let that sit aside over here and try not to spill it all over the floor. Good luck, right? All right. We're going to do the same with this one. Yes, Mary, the white is pretty thick. It's nice big chunks. You want it to be thick like that so it stays warm a little longer so that you can get those flakes in there, because you want to try, you're not embedding them in there, but you kind of want them to sit in there and kind of grab hold while it's cooling. All right. Put some flakes on here. Don't worry, I'll probably dump them all off before the end, before I get there, so there won't be that many left. Okay. Now they have this other powder. It's called Pastiche. It's Pastiche, and it's a bunch of different size granules of clear. All right. And what it's meant to do is to be a thicker coating so that it covers these flakes or the glass glitter and holds it on. So what it does is kind of is like molten glass. So what I'm going to do is, without any embossing ink, I'm going to put a nice layer, not crazy thick, okay? You don't want it to be too thick, but can you see? About like that. All right. And then also from the bottom, so it doesn't fly away, get it going, started melting. And then we can finish from the top. And you can see how it just looks like glass over, and the flakes are all coated. Can you see that? And it does have a little bit of shimmer in there. So one of the granules is a little bit of a shimmery. We'll do the same to this one. And even if you don't pour it all the way to the edges, it does melt out. All right. Mary, I see you're asking questions. Give me 1 second. I'm going to finish this one and then I will look at the comments. Let that cool off a second, and then I will show you what it looks like up close. Let me clean my mess. No, I didn't wipe that on the floor. I have my paper over there. Okay, lids because, well, because it's me. All right, so Mary is asking, do the flakes melt? Nope, the flakes don't melt. They are, is it soft material? Well, it feels a bit like papery clay. How about that? That's what it kind of feels like. But we're also going to use this glass in a second. I'm going to show you. And we're going to put a center in our flower. But look at this. Can you see how it melts over the flakes? I'm trying to get it to focus. Sorry. There you go. And it still has a little bit of shimmer to it. All right, and then you're asking, are there other color flakes? These are brand new. They just came out with these, so I think that these are the first color. Okay. Then what I did was I took our little, they're calling this the mixed media embossing brush, but it's also used for re-inking. So I took that and now see, this is just regular glass glitter. It's actually quite heavy because it's full, and it really is glass, okay? And what I did was, not too much, I put a little bit of the embossing ink there, and then carefully poured some of the glitter so it would stick a little, and then I took the pastiche so I would seal it. Let me clean that off so I can save my pastiche that's left. Am I off camera? Of course I am. Put a little bit over the glitter and grab my tweezers. And from the bottom, so we don't blow it all off. You have to be careful not to use too much with the mixed media brush because when it gets liquid, it does start moving around. Kind of like molten. Voila. And there is the center of the flower. What do you think, ladies? Questions? All right. Let's close everything up so we don't tip anything over. And then I just put, I just put things together. I cut this leaf from another one of my movers and shapers. I had this sentiment, but you can make it any orientation you want. I just offset them and put a pop dot in between to make the flower. And there we go. Pretty awesome, right? You think it's a great new product? Mary, no pressure. All right. And there is, our flower. And look, no glitter is falling off. I'm trying to see if I can focus very well, will it? Yep. And then you can put it on your canvas however you want. And you have a little gift that you can hand out to people who you like. Yes, Marianne, I did bend the petals. You can bend the petals. You have to be careful. They're not going to bend like in half, but you definitely can curl them up. See? You sure can bend the petals. All right. Any other questions? This one was a little longer, but look, we finished practically a whole project in 20 minutes. Quick and easy things that are really super awesome. So yeah, I was very excited with these new and new to me fun things that Wow has. I'm gonna have to try to source these little spoons though, because they are good for embossing powder. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I will bring these into the store so that you can see them in person and see how awesome the gold kind of blends into the clear to give you that frame. It's really fun. All right. All right, everybody, don't forget the Shop Hop is going on all month through September 1st. We're having weekly drawings for shop hoppers that make purchases in the store. And then there is a couple of free gifts with purchase when you spend $10 and when you spend $25 if you're hopping. So lots of fun things going on. All right, everybody, enjoy your evening. Hopefully we are through the rain, but I do hope it stays cool because, woo, it was awesome today. Have a good rest of your evening. Thank you.